Hello, hello. So I am several minutes early, which is fine. We'll see if anybody comes in. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Hey Gramsy Life, how are you? Sorry, I'm trying to get my chat pulled up. Hey Beth. I hate it when that happens. I just turned off the sound. Hopefully you guys don't get too much playback. Hey Delaney, hey Sweet Home. Hey Charlotte. I thought you were live. Are you not live right now? Man, I need to fix this. Hey Gigi. Let me drop this down a little bit. It's been an interesting, do you have one? Yeah, I know Little Red's live, and I know Emily D. Baker is going live here shortly, but I could have sworn when I just logged on, it said that you were live. My bad. Are you going live later, Charlotte? Is it a scheduled live? I'm giving all my secrets away from my backdrop. I hate it whenever there's you have one scheduled for tomorrow. What time is your live tomorrow, Charlotte? Because I have a live tomorrow and I want to try and make sure that they are being spaced out. That way people who are alone or can't be with family, that they have people to watch at different times just to fill their day. Sorry, I just took my makeup off. 3 p.m. Central. I don't know the conversion to my time, but I will figure it out and I will look at my my poll and choose accordingly. I will post tonight, probably a little bit after this live, when I am going to go live tomorrow. Unlike Charlotte and Britt and everybody else who can somehow figure out how to schedule their live streams and then get into them, I can't do that. I have tried so many times and I can never get back into the live stream that I have scheduled. I'm sure it's a me issue. So that's why I always use my community tab. Anyways, how is everybody doing? I know I'm here early. A lot of it was because I didn't know if anybody was going to be here, to be quite honest, because I have been filming a video, which I'm not sure when you guys are going to get it, but I can't wait for you guys to be able to watch it. It's actually one I'm super, super excited about. That sounds weird. But I couldn't leave my makeup on for it or else you guys would see. So I had to take my makeup off before this. I have been filming this video, I kid you guys not, for like 4.5 hours. This is the longest I have ever spent on a video before. A lot of it is because I had to figure out different tech stuff to do this video. I hate to be this YouTuber. I hate it when YouTubers do it and they dangle it out in front of you. I really can't tell you guys anything about it because that's all I can say. I just can't tell you guys anything about it. Hopefully you'll get it soon. I've got to do some other stuff and then hopefully you guys will get to see it over this holiday. Yeah, Charlotte, I try to do the same thing. I try to be respectful of other creators. However, we're going to clash from time to time. I don't take offense by it. You know, most of us who I support in the community leave their live streams up afterwards. So if our subscribers are similar, they're going to go back and watch whatever live they missed, or at least that's my take on it. So I never worry, but on things like tomorrow where people are probably going to be online to get away from being alone, I want everybody to have the ability to engage with the creator they want to. And if they want to engage with all of us, I want to try and space them out amongst us, if that makes sense. Yeah, I know Emily's going live. That's kind of why I hopped on here early, to see if people would be, if people would still be interested in the open discussion tonight. Yeah, Gigi, I know why she's gone. I recently found out Britt texted me and asked me if I saw what Katie was doing to the other creators, and I hadn't, because I've been filming this video. And I briefly saw Truth Sleuth's community tab, and then I got on and I saw that there's so many people scheduled for live streams, and I was like, man, I don't even know if anybody's going to be interested in having an open discussion tonight, because there's so much stuff that happened. Understandably so. Oh, definitely Charlotte. She's definitely trying to silence people, which is ironic, because to me the damage has been done, and she's just proving all of her critics right. Like, I hate to be that person. I really do. But like, she is proving us all right. And I know some people are like concerned with her mental health. I understand that concern. I don't have that concern any longer after really taking a step back and looking at everything. Like, I know what it takes to be prescribed medications that she has, and she has to be regularly checking in with somebody to continue to receive those. So if there were concerns for her mental health, her medical provider would be stepping in. That is why I really don't have too many concerns for her mental health, if that makes sense. You started on the project. Ooh, yay. Well, I'm excited for that, A Gramsci Life. You will have to keep me updated, and not that I could provide you any help, but if you think I can, I'm available. Hey, Delaney. So I'm probably not the best person to ask, because I am just now finding out about this, because I have been in La La Land filming stuff for you guys. But apparently, Without a Crystal Ball is copy claiming. I don't want to say the wrong word. She's either copyright striking or she's copy claiming her name, Katie, on people's videos. So, which, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, come on. Hey, Gaming Granny, y'all, how are you? Hey, Rocklist. Pot meat kettle. I mean, there's more to it, in my opinion. Like, there's just, I think she's feeding into it at this point. Privacy complaint. Thank you. Thank you. That is the term. Like I said, I've barely become aware and seen this stuff. It is something else, man. Let me just say that. It is something else. I'm going to put some moisturizer on my face. You can quote from Truth Sleuth. Yeah, I saw it on my my homepage when I logged into YouTube. Hey, Tara. No, I appreciate that. Definitely. Yeah, you guys correct me anytime I'm wrong. I'm not gonna pull a Without a Crystal Ball, since we can't say her name. I will call her by her YouTube channel if I have to. If she hasn't deleted it yet, check out her video about Janelle Eason. Oh, did Janelle? I was kind of around during that stuff, but kind of not. I've honestly, like, since all of this has, like, hit the wall, it's so hard to keep up with everything. Hey, Beauty Demon. Hey, Llama Girl. How are you doing? Just go ahead and call her Karen J. I mean, so does that mean if people call her KJ, she's gonna freak out, or WACB, or like, these are things that she refers to herself as. Like, how can she, and other people are named Katie, for goodness sakes. Yeah, she is spiraling, I agree. I think she's spiraling intentionally though. Hey, Rocky Keystone, she's delusional. You know, hey, Pink Flamingo, there for a little while, like, I was kind of along the lines of a lot of people. I was kind of concerned about, like, her mental capacity and, like, her mental state because of her behaviors. But at this point, there are so many people involved. We have attorneys involved. We know there are medical professionals involved to some degree, and I'm not even talking about the ones who may be in her home. I'm talking about, like, she talks about how she has ADHD and she's prescribed Adderall. I know from my working experience, that is a controlled substance. Even though it's a prescription, it's a controlled substance. You have to regularly get your prescription filled. They don't give you a whole lot all at once. It depends on your state and the regulations. It's typically 1 to 3 months. Okay, Charlotte. So she's having to see somebody to make sure she's still getting her prescription. So, I mean, there's things that are in place that make me think she's doing all of this on purpose. She's just an a-hole. I mean, yeah, that's one way to put it. Did I not bring my drink in here? I might have to go grab a drink, guys. I watched a video with like 600 views about KJ and KJ's husband comments. You went off on the creator, or she did? Yeah, and I know Truth Sleuth said that she was going through all of her videos and editing out her name, Katie. Like, I get it for larger creators who, like, YouTube is their income. If Katie does that, here I go saying her name. If Without a Crystal Ball does that to my channel, it will take me a long time to put those videos back up, because I don't know how creators go in and just easily edit out words. I have so many struggles when it comes to editing. I'm sure you guys can tell that in my pre-recorded videos. I'm trying to get better with every upload, but it will be a crazy mess if I have to go through my videos and do that. No, I understand anybody who heads over to Emily's live stream. I totally get it. She's faking losing her shit. She's doing it for attention, clicks, coins. She's happy being a train wreck. I agree with you. Beauty Demon, I have Adobe. I have Adobe Premiere. So I have nice editing software. It's the fact that I'm the issue, not the software. Because I have a nice camera, I have decent lighting. The only thing that I really need to up my game on is my audio. With time, I will get there. I have a mic and everything. I just need to learn how to do all of that stuff, and I haven't. So part of it's my fault. Oh, is there really? Huh. All right, guys, before we get into the discussion tonight, I am going to go grab my drink, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm sorry. The software you're using crashed today. That's not good. So, tonight's open discussion, which I do want to forewarn, this isn't going to be a long open discussion. I know typically I let these go until the discussion is done. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys can tell this about me or not, but I am a massive procrastinator, and I have procrastinated purchasing groceries for a while. So being that Thanksgiving is tomorrow, we're not going to do a traditional Thanksgiving dinner for just the two of us, but we don't really have much to make at all here. So we have to go grocery shopping. So I'm probably going to cap this at like an hour, hour and a half max. Just so you guys are aware, I am going to be keeping an eye on the time. Of course, if we end sooner than that, that is totally fine. There is no rush as far as ending it earlier than that, but I did just want to let you guys know that I will be keeping an eye on the clock tonight. So I'm pretty sure, I highly doubt our subject for tonight changed. But I want to clarify just to be on the safe side, because you never know. My back hurts. Typically I have all this stuff pulled up, but I literally just finished filming that video like 30 minutes ago. So in addition to needing to go grocery shopping, my husband's not very happy with me because I have only like said hi to him. Understandably so. But I am hoping to use this. I get a long break. I don't know if you guys, those of you who are able to work or are working in an office situation, I got off work early today, and then I get tomorrow and Friday off, so it's like 4.5 days. It's a much appreciated break. Okay, I didn't think it changed, but I wanted to be sure. Same with procrastination. Yeah. People are not handling less. They usually don't. I should have known better. It's my own fault. So when I get super aggravated that there's a long line at Walmart, or if we go to Smith's or wherever we end up going, Costco, I can't be mad about it. So, hey, gaming granny, I don't know what we're having. That could very well end up be it. We will see. So tonight's discussion is allegations and accusations. And this is one that was kind of brought to me in DMs. And the way it was presented was as far as like legal stuff. Which is a hard topic to talk about without being super specific. So I'm going to throw a scenario out there, and you guys, you're having hot pockets. I might be too. I'm not laughing in like a shady way. I have been talking nonstop for this what I was doing before. So like my mouth is dry. I'm sure I'm gonna trip up on my words quite a bit. I'm sorry. The best way I can relate it is to work that I have done. Most of you guys know I have worked in child welfare. So a good hypothetical is you are either a friend, let's say you're a friend of a family member and they have a child, a young child, a minor. Doesn't matter how old they are, they're a minor. And they accuse a male family member of being inappropriate. And the family either does or doesn't believe them. That's neither here nor there for this particular part. Pretty much what it is we're talking about if you have ever had this kind of thing happen to you, to a family member, talking about the repercussions to not only the person who is being alleged to have done something or their family, or if it comes true. I think a lot of people get lost in translation with what allegation, like the fact that they're allegations. You hear something super heinous and you don't want to disregard it. Like, as people, we don't want to disregard something that is super serious and could potentially put others at harm. Rightfully so. However, we do need to learn as a society to not ostracize or damn the person who is being accused until we know for sure. And I'm not saying like as far as we know for sure through the court's eyes, because we all know through courts things can, without a shadow of a doubt, and like you have proof, but for whatever reason a jury gets hung or something like that happens and a person isn't convicted or doesn't end up, there's not enough for police to end up filing charges or following through with an arrest. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, especially when we're talking about children. I am and will always continue to support a disclosure of any kind, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's physical abuse, whether it is emotional abuse. If a child is disclosing those things to me and can provide, if I'm in a professional setting and I'm questioning them appropriately and they can provide legitimate information, I am going to believe the child. Hands down. Does that necessarily mean that what the accuser or the alleged perpetrator has done, it warrants being exiled? Not always. But oftentimes when we're talking about scenarios like this around children, it is hard to not take that stance because children are innocent. Children inherently don't do things bad. Most of the time they're still learning the difference between right and wrong. So we want to protect them, especially if you have any of your own trauma or your own experiences. You are even, in my opinion, you are even more likely to try and overprotect because you have been the survivor of something. So it was brought up in a different way, but that's the easiest way for me to think of having the conversation start, is for people to understand like what I mean by allegations and accusations. I'm not necessarily talking about any of this YouTube stuff or this YouTube drama. Of course, it can fall under the same type of thing. These open discussions, as most of you guys know, typically are around more serious issues that aren't always YouTube related. Sometimes we are able to relate them to current YouTube stuff, but this particular one wasn't brought up in that manner. If it ends up falling into that, it is what it is. I'm not going to prevent a conversation from happening, but that is the context of which like this was talked about. Have any of you guys ever known of anything like this to happen that wasn't like a highly publicized case? Like we all know there's super publicized, like the Sophie Long case that technically falls under this discussion. They're allegations. Oh, thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. James, I'm assuming you're talking about James Charles, that he has had allegations, and that has damaged his reputation to a degree. There are people who never bounced back from the first video that was made, the first Bi Sisters video. And since then, there have been numerous different people trying to, in my opinion, clout chase and say that he was doing things he wasn't doing. There has been the stuff with the waiter that happened, which I know was a part of it was like a spinoff issue from the Bi Sisters stuff. There recently, within the last 6 months, was that other young guy who tried to make a big deal about something, which I actually discussed. And unfortunately, because of that Bi Sisters video, it has set the precedent for James Charles to be a target for this. And it's unfortunate. like he is, through the rest of his career, he is probably going to deal with other people trying to say, whether it's boys or girls who are younger, trying to say he talked to me inappropriately or he reached out to me on this social media, and make it to be something it wasn't, because we all have that information from By Sister, from somebody who, according to most people at that time, most people, and I don't know how many people's opinions of Tati have changed since then, but at the time of By Sisters, Tati, from what I had experienced and what I had watched, she was well respected. And like her word meant something because her reviews were legitimate, in my opinion. Like it was very rare that people had a totally opposing opinion of Tati every single time. Like she had built her 9 million subscribers because people liked her. People liked her personality. People liked her content. You know, so that's what made it harder for James to recover from that. Even if a child is coached to say something, that alone is abuse. It can be. You're right, Kristen. It definitely can be. Hey, Susie. Yeah, I've seen that Trisha recently was kind of with the Charlie stuff, saying that it was a weird relationship. Is that what you're talking about? That's terrible, Gaming Granny. I'm sorry that you have that going on in your personal life. I don't know if you want me to read that out loud for people in the replay. But I'm sorry that you are experiencing having to deal with something to that degree. Yeah, I agree with you, BD Demon. Like James Charles knows at this point he's under a microscope. I think he has continued to learn that lesson the hard way. And that's something that I stated in the video I did when I can't remember that kid's name, when that younger guy who was on TikTok tried to, okay, I will share it in just a second, who was trying to claim that he was DMing him and being inappropriate in messages. Like, he's going to continue to deal with stuff like that. And in that video, I said, like, I hope he takes extra precautions in who he talks to for now on and who he is DMing and things like that, not to just rely on what websites say. Him of all people should know that what is always portrayed on the internet is not legitimate. So Gaming Granny, y'all, who by the way does have a YouTube channel, if you guys are interested in any kind of gaming and commentary, check her out. If you like her content, go ahead and give her a subscribe. But she has provided that her granddaughter was recently abused by her stepdad. She's 8 now and was 7 when it happened. And because this has happened, she now has started her period. So not only has this little girl been affected physically and emotionally, she now has started her menstrual cycle, which very well maybe wouldn't have started at such a young age had this incident not happened. Bye, Susie. Thank you for being here. So, I mean, it's situations like that. It's just, they're so hard. They're so hard for the families to deal with. They're so hard for the other parent to really understand. Oftentimes they feel guilty if they are unaware. If they're aware, that's a whole nother bag of worms that I really don't have the time to get into. If you guys are ever interested in it, I can do, I can have it as a poll to do like some child welfare information in one of these, so where you guys can just ask me questions about child welfare, and if I have experience in it, I can provide you some answers. But it is so hard for children who experience any kind of abuse or neglect, no matter how serious or whether you deem it not serious. One of the ones which I've talked about before is domestic violence, children who are in homes where domestic violence is occurring, because the children aren't what people would say, there's no visual of the children being involved, so they don't think there is an effect or that the children can be traumatized from it. That is absolutely not true. Children who grow up in domestic violence homes oftentimes suffer a lot of different kinds of issues because it is traumatic. Absolutely, it is very hard for, depending on the environment of where the child is, it is very hard at times for them to disclose. That's why it's always said that every disclosure should be taken seriously, even if it's coming from an adult. Any disclosure that you have should be taken seriously. If you're in any kind of profession, it should be taken just as seriously as suicidal ideation. You hear that, and as a professional, you go into work mode and you start trying to make sure that you're putting in place resources and you're making sure that this person's going to be okay. And if they are having ideation, how far it goes. Like, those are things that should be occurring on, in my opinion, on all levels of any kind of disclosure. And there should be things taken and put into place that if it's something where someone is portraying it onto somebody, that the perpetrator is removed from the situation. Whether if it's somebody in the home, that they are no longer in the home until stuff is figured out. No matter what kind of abuse, when it deals with children, that the alleged perpetrator, which is typically a parent or a relative living in the home, is no longer in that home. For adults, it is oftentimes you have to make that decision. And like with stuff like domestic violence, it's hard for the survivor to be able to break away for a multitude of reasons. That's why it is something that is trying to be educated so much nowadays, that saying to a survivor of DV who is currently in that situation, saying, well, why don't you just leave, is absolutely not helpful. If anything, it is more damaging. We are chatting about allegations and accusations, Kathy. That is the topic for tonight. This is a hard one for people to really want to provide information on because it's so sensitive. You can't expect people, and I don't expect people to provide their stories when it comes to stuff like this, or their experiences or things that they've heard, because of judgment, which is unfortunate that we're still in a time where judgment is so heavily placed on anybody. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. James, I'm not sure how you pronounce your first name, but Chapman says, James himself said he was talking to underage people. In their opinion, that's walking a fine line to begin with. And when it becomes inappropriate, it's hard for younger ones to understand what's going on. I agree to a degree, if that makes sense. James, if he obviously has acknowledged the fact that he talks to underage people, which he is walking a fine line. I definitely agree with that. As far as it being inappropriate, I mean, we can't really be the judge of that, and I may be misinterpreting your comment, but if he's talking to people who are in their late teens, 16, 17, 18, those aged individuals that I would think he would be talking to know the difference between right and wrong. So I feel like if something was going inappropriately, they would start to get a feeling, or they would know. Of course, not always is that the case. You have some teenagers who grow up very sheltered lives, where their parents don't allow them access to so much stuff, or they're naive in thinking that bad things won't happen to them. I understand that those things occur regularly in life, but I don't think people that James Charles would be associating himself with or talking to would necessarily fall under that realm, if that makes sense. And if I misunderstood what you meant, please let me know. Please provide me some clarification. So, and I mean, going to like these kinds of things where it's like hardcore, like definitely a predator type thing, as people, I think we almost always like jump to the topic that we're talking about, like pedophilia, or being inappropriate with underage kids, which technically is that definition. Things like that, that's automatically, I think, where most people go with their mind. Like whenever you hear of allegations, you automatically think of like sexual abuse allegations, but they can go I mean, anything that you could get charged with or you could get a ticket with is technically an allegation. So, I mean, the spectrum is so wide with what could be talked about, but because this is it was so taboo to talk about this for so long, I think people hyper focus now on this particular type of allegation. Okay, I see what you're saying. So for clarification, Chapman says inappropriate in a sexual manner when they look up to the celebrity and being taken advantage, like a power dynamic. He has said he has spoken to those ages in an inappropriate manner. But his excuse was he didn't know the person's age. At the end of the day, it has happened to me, and that's a fine line, right? He is dancing on. Yeah, no, in that sense, like James Charles talking to anybody is a power dynamic, which he needs to become aware of if he hasn't learned that lesson at this point. If he's aware he is being inappropriate with them, like the power dynamic aside, because we all know that already exists with him. He is like, I think he's like a billionaire now, isn't he? Or he's close to it if he's not. And he is super young for his age. He is a young adult. If he is intentionally having these conversations inappropriately with these younger children, not children, but younger teenagers, he's asking to get in trouble, in my opinion. If you're doing something and you know that they're underage, that is you asking for issues. If he legitimately doesn't know, that's where I have provided him criticism before, being that he is in the situation he is in and there is that pre-existing power dynamic. He should be taking extra steps to know exactly who he is talking to, because all it takes is asking for a photo ID. That may seem weird, but anybody who is legitimately interested in having any kind of friendship or romantic relationship with James Charles will be willing to give him that documentation to prove their age. And James needs to be, I mean, this has been an age-old conversation when all of this stuff first started. Like, he needs to be covering himself. He needs to limit his conversations with people he doesn't know their age to. I don't know how old you guys are in my chat. Like, actually, I don't know your age. I know what my analytics say the ages of people who watch me are, which are adults. But I mean, is there a chance that a kid could pop in every once in a while in any of my videos? There always is that chance for everybody. So it's just like, it gets so complicated when we see stuff like this play out on the internet. Like we see people being accused of doing things, and it's just that it's an accusation. It doesn't mean it actually happened. It is somebody coming forth and saying their side, or what they experienced, or what they have observed, and it doesn't mean that it's not valued. But I think as a society, that's where people are, like, we're getting hung up on, is people are super black and white, it appears. It's hard to find that gray area, is what it seems like. At least from what I have observed, it seems like finding that gray area has been a lot of the issue. So age of consent depends on where you live, actually. Depends on not only the country, but even in the US, different states have different laws for age of consent. So, and consent is just such a loose term, too. It's 16 in New York. I mean, as far as like legal, like actually arrests happening, yes, then age of consent is going to be a factor. But I mean, you can have allegations, like I said, you can have allegations and law enforcement never be notified. I have my bachelor's degree in social work with a child welfare minor, a minor in child welfare. That is my degree. Yeah, the Zoe and Connor stuff is disgusting. It's 16 in Ohio too. I don't know the age of consent where I'm at. I've moved and I'm not working in that sector right now, so I haven't looked at it here. I haven't had to know it. Yeah, the Zoe and Connor stuff, her behaviors since all of that has happened, and even her mom's behavior, is really questionable. Because with James Charles, not that we should be comparing the two, but for sake of comparing the two, we're gonna do it anyways. For James Charles, like oh my gosh, this is so frustrating to talk about and keep my thoughts straight. He was alleged to be doing these things, and he would come out and he would address it and he would retract. Now, we can only hope that those behaviors were not occurring. And there's been, information both ways. James Charles has provided information to kind of support some of the allegations, but he has also flat out denied, like the more serious one, understandably so. And with Zoe, she seems to not give a flying crap and is continuing this behavior to the point that her mom got on an Instagram live with her / for her. I really couldn't tell, and was like, stop, you guys shouldn't pick on her, like mistakes are made. It's like, what are you teaching your adult daughter? I understand she is a young adult. She's 19. However, she is an adult by the court of law. What are you teaching her? You should not be, in my opinion, you should not be online telling her fans to stop judging her for kissing a 13-year-old on camera. The heck? Like, what? Maybe you should not have your daughter online for a little while and actually teach her what is right and what is wrong. Because then maybe she wouldn't be in this whole predicament to begin with. And I'm not trying to blame it on the mom of the said action that has happened, but her behaviors as a parent since are super questionable. At least to me they are. I know a lot of people have talked about the Zoe situation and her behavior since, and I'm pretty sure there's other concerning stuff that other creators have pointed out as well. But I don't know if I haven't seen I haven't seen anyone from what I have seen really point out the mom's like co-signing, because in my opinion she kind of is co-signing the behavior by getting on live and saying mistakes happen and asking the following to not be harsh on her. Of course, I don't agree that people are being downright hateful and inappropriate. Like, you should never tell people to not to be here anymore, not to be living anymore. I'm one of the people who run the line that I think it's stupid just to provide any negative comment, to be quite honest, because what good does it do? I mean, honestly, I can honestly say I have never left a mean comment on anybody's video, on anything at all, because I just think it's stupid. Like, either the creator is going to read it and like get pissed off and try to clap back, or they're not going to read it and it's going to go in a spam folder and it's like I wasted my time, and in the long run it ends up giving the creator engagement. So it really is like a mute point at that when it comes to that. And I'll be the one to admit, like, if you leave me a comment, if it's critical, I will respond. And if you don't respond to me, then that I automatically assume you were just trying to stir the pot. If you can't legitimately provide your argument back to me, I immediately think that you're just trying to stir the pot and trying to rile me up. And it's probably not going to work. I'm not sure when you said you get that. What do you get, Gaming Granny? It's hard whenever I try to like not keep my head down the whole time I'm talking to you guys. You don't feed the fire. Yeah, I typically don't. I mean, of course, we're all human and things are going to get to us from time to time, but I'm not going, and if I ever do, I really hope you guys are comfortable enough with me to like say something. But like, I'm not going to pull a Katie and sit here or without a crystal ball, whatever, and like sit here and like, so take everybody's comment like that's hurtful so personally. I try to make sure that I am engaging with you guys as much as I can. When my chats are smaller and more manageable, I think I do a pretty decent job of that. Because I want everybody to know that they're appreciated and things like that. And I have had comments which I knew I was going to get when I addressed my cursing. And I really addressed my cursing because I've gotten more subscribers recently from all of the videos I have done. And I understand cursing can offend people. So I was just trying to address it, and I wasn't trying to be nasty about it, but apparently it came off that way to some people, and they let me know in the comment section, and we had a conversation about it, but it was a one-sided conversation. I provided the reasons, which I provided in the video as to why I was addressing it, and some more information, and there wasn't any continue through from the person who left the original comment. So to me, it's like they were just addressing it because they wanted to say that they didn't like it, which is fine. But if you're not going to like tell me anything different, I don't how am I supposed to change and better my content for you guys if you're not going to follow through and tell me anything different, right? Night, Beth. Yeah, I'm probably gonna hop off here in just a few minutes because it's getting to be late. Where we're at, due to COVID kind of amping up everywhere, stores close early again. So I can't be on here too late, just to make sure that we can actually get groceries for ourselves to eat tomorrow. I will be posting, I'm just going to start doing my outro now, I guess. So I will be posting my time for the live stream tomorrow in my community tab. I will try to post it in my Twitter as well. I probably won't post it on Instagram, but I will post it on those two places. That way, in case you are alone for the holiday tomorrow, you have something to fill some of your time. I'm not sure what we'll talk about yet. Probably a little bit of everything that's going on tonight, because I'm sure I'm missing even more of the fire happening. I'm sure we all are. We'll probably get off of here too. All kinds of craziness. But I appreciate everybody who has been here tonight. I appreciate everybody who is still here. You guys are all awesome. You guys mean everything to me. I am so happy that we have been able to have these conversations, and they will continue to happen. I think tonight, with so much going on prior to this live, that maybe people are watching other videos, totally understandable. I totally get it. I will be rewatching everybody else's live tonight, that's for sure. So I understand that. Typically, I think these are a little bit more engaging than what it's been tonight. So if this was one of your first open discussions, usually we have quite a few more people here and like engaging and providing their opinion and their experiences. But I think we all should maybe try and see what's going on the other side. And I'm hoping that Emily is still live and we can maybe catch what she's got going on. So with all of that being said, I hope you have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.